time for the lightning round.
Shape up or ship out. Satellite TV in the slammer, and no to ho, ho, ho. Our guest for the lightning round tonight, Vince Arcuri from ERA Realty. Vince, nice to have you with us.
Good to be here. Good to be back.
Firefighters who are overweight and out of shape are at greater risk of dying from a heart attack than any job-related injury. So the union contract in Palm Bay, that's over on our East Coast, states that all firefighters must have less than 20% body fat or else.
Wow.
Do you agree with this?
Well, you know, I think a lot of times it's a real strenuous job. A lot of times you're doing a lot of, I think a lot of times they go on adrenaline, though. You know, when you're in those situations, I think a lot of times they probably can't do it. But when you've got the adrenaline rush going, it probably varies from individual to individual. I know they talked about doing that in the real estate industry because there's so many more houses on the market now. We have to be in better shape to be able to get in and out of the car.
There's some stress.
Yeah. You know, they were saying it was as a safety issue. It wasn't like an element for somebody trapped in a burning building, because actually they suffered heart attacks maybe 1 to 2 hours afterwards, either at the firehouse on their way back to the station after the fire is completely over. So I kind of like the rule because I think it's just applied to those guys saying, hey, look, this is what can happen. It's been medically proven, so trim down, you'll have less of a chance.
And frankly, if you collapse while you're fighting a fire, you not only put yourself in jeopardy, but your fellow firefighters. If they have to attend to you.
The more I think it's just common sense. I mean, you want to have agility, you want to be able to move, you want to be quick with your feet.
Well, you want to have recovery after it's all over. That's the main thing.
And they got about 60 pounds of gear on them already without that extra weight.
Right.
Okay, a prison warden in Clayton County, Georgia wants satellite TV for his inmates so they can watch Monday Night Football. This would cost about $100 a month. It would be paid for out of the commissary and payphone accounts, so actually out of the pockets of the prisoners. Right. But the county commission up there still has to sign off on this. By the way, he says this is a management issue. Monday Night Football will help him manage his population.
I think it probably works both ways, because when they're bad, they say you're watching C-SPAN, you're watching Martha Stewart, you're watching HGTV. They'll straighten you right up.
You know, whatever happened to the days of busting rocks? These guys used to go out there. Prison was a deterrent. You would go out and that was a deterrent. You'd bust rocks. It was a miserable place to be, and you didn't want to commit the crime again to come back. And you got TV, air conditioning. What's next?
His chief argument, by the way, is that now that Monday Night Football is on ESPN, on cable television or satellite television, they can't watch it because they have, you know, 2 channels with a rabbit ear that they can't really receive very well.
I mean,
are you buying into this?
No, I'm not buying into that. You know, it's called prison. You know, I mean, where you lose a lot of rights going
Next
in.
Up, we want HD TV.
Yeah, you know, unless, I mean, it's ridiculous. Come on, you can't be dictating what you want to watch on Monday night. It's lights out at 9 o'clock.
All right, finally, this is the ridiculous story of the day. Santa's in Sydney, Australia, being instructed not to say ho, ho, ho. It might be offensive to women, so instead, ha, ha, ha is being recommended.
Well, probably saying ha, ha, ha to some of the things the kids are asking for. It's probably appropriate, but I guess it's the day and age that we live in. You know, now you've got all the rap songs and everything else, and it just shows you where the mindset of people were. When I heard we were going to talk about this tonight, it didn't even dawn on me what they were talking, the ho, ho, ho. It didn't even dawn on me. My wife had to nudge me and tell me what was going on with it, and I didn't even get it.
So, as kids, this was not part of our language. The second reference.
Like it's always something. I mean, nothing's sacred. We had the story a couple of weeks ago about the Santa Claus had to be thin. He couldn't be fat because he sets a bad example.
Unless he's a firefighter.
That's
he's a firefighter.
You look up ho in the dictionary. There's probably 15 different definitions. I mean, it is what it is.
I'm going to have to look it up now that you mentioned that. I don't know if there's actually an entry in Merriam-Webster.
I don't think there is either, but it's totally ridiculous. Nothing's sacred anymore.
Vince, thanks so much for joining us.
Before we go, I did want to say, I want to get a dig in on Mark Wilson. You know, first it was supposed to be Michael Pittman was supposed to be the guest tonight, and he couldn't make it. And then the world champ Dave Bautista was supposed to be here. He couldn't make it. So as soon as Mark found out that I was going to be the guest on the lightning round, he calls in sick. I don't understand this.
Yeah, he's been sick in 5 years.
I'm like Rodney Dangerfield. I'm not getting the respect
No respect
here.
at all, but he gave me a chance to meet you. And
that was a good part.
Nice recovery, Frank. Like meeting him really means anything to you.
Thanks, Steve. Well, I get no respect.
Chip will be back with sports in just a moment.